The Asaba Massacre unfolded against the backdrop of the Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafra War. The conflict erupted primarily due to deep-seated ethnic tensions, economic disparities, and political grievances between the Igbo-dominated eastern region and the Nigerian federal government. In May 1967, following a series of political crises and violent pogroms targeting Igbo civilians in northern Nigeria, the eastern region, led by Lieutenant Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu, declared independence as the Republic of Biafra. The Nigerian government, under General Yakubu Gowon, responded by launching a military campaign to suppress the secessionist movement, thus igniting a brutal civil war. Amidst this backdrop of violence and upheaval, the town of Asaba, located in present-day Delta State, 1 mile across the Niger River Bridge, found itself caught in the crossfire. Asaba, a quiet town of about 10,000 people predominantly inhabited by Igbo people, became a battleground between Nigeria Federal Forces and Biafran troops. Barely 3 months after the Civil War broke out, in 1967, Biafran troops invaded the Midwest region, to the west of the River Niger. They spread west, taking Benin and reaching as far as present-day Ondo State, where they were pushed back by the Nigerian 2nd Division under the command of Colonel Murtala Mohammed. The federal troops gained the upper hand and forced the Biafrans back to the Niger, where they crossed the bridge back into the Biafran city of Onitsha, which lies directly across from Asaba. The Biafrans blew up the eastern spans of the bridge so that the federal troops were unable to pursue them beyond that point. As federal troops advanced into Asaba, the residents, predominantly Igbo civilians, greeted them with chants of "One Nigeria" and welcome. However, their gestures of peace and solidarity were met with suspicion and hostility. In a chilling display of violence, Nigerian soldiers rounded up hundreds of unarmed male civilians, accusing them of supporting the secessionist cause. What followed was a systematic massacre, as the soldiers executed innocent men and in cold blood, with estimates of the death toll ranging from several hundred to over 1,000. The people of Asaba had experienced the worst civilian atrocity of the war, leaving their town in ruins and families devastated. A witness of the mass murder said the Nigerian troops that came into Asaba thought they were fathers, brothers and uncles of Chukwumakadun and Zogu, the leader of the first Nigerian coup in 1966 that killed Saduana of Sokoto, Sir Ahmadu Bello. Major Nzelbu was from Opanam, a town which was 5 kilometers drive from Asaba. The senior army officers that headed the unit directly responsible for the massacre was Ibrahim Taiwo. He would later become the military administrator before he was assassinated during the coup that ended Murtala Muhammad, who himself was the commander of the 2 divisions responsible for the massacre. The brutality of the massacre in Asaba sent the shockwaves across Nigeria and the international community, exposing the grim realities of the civil war and the plight of Igbo civilians caught in the crossfire. Despite widespread condemnation and calls for justice, the perpetrators of the massacre were never held accountable, and wounds inflicted upon the people of Asaba continue to fester to this day.